All right, in my short review on Madam Web, I described it as being extremely horrendous and basically this generation's The Room. But in the time allotted that I didn't really go into details why. So for this video, I'll actually spoil the movie so you don't have to go see it. The reason why I feel that this movie is extremely horrendous is because it's just so contrived, convenient, and it kind of is lazy, to be honest. First, the villain, his name is Ezekiel Sims. If you think about the whole point of him is that he needs to get rid of these three women that he sees in his dream, that in the future he somehow uploads his dream into a computer and has a girl process that works for him, process the dream, and they find the location of the three people who kill him. They have spider powers, and get this, I looked it up. I thought these were actual characters, so I wanted to know what characters they were. Well, apparently they're just three random generic spider women. They didn't go and actually look up three women that appear in Spider-Man comics that, happen to be women and, use the characters there. No, they just random generic spider women. So these three spider women, he finds out that they live in New York City, just like in, Manhattan, I think, because that's where Spider-Man takes place, is New York. And these women just happen to live where he is living, which is really happenstance because he is from Peru and somehow he ends up in New York. And so he's in New York, they're in New York, and obviously the title character is also in New York. Now, we'll go back to her in a minute. Now, his plan is to kill these women, and it happens into the future. He's able to realize if he he's had this dream multiple times, and he knows the dream makes, it happens in New York. So instead of, leaving or going back to Peru or something, he stays in New York and, eventually it ends up he's killed anyway. But, if you think logically, if the dream takes place in New York and these women just happen to be in New York, you would think, hey, maybe if I go in a different location, this dream will not happen because I'm not actually in the location of the dream in the future. Do you just avoid that? But no, the writers are so damn lazy, they can't think of that this is a stupid idea. So, yeah, Ezekiel Sims' idea is just so moronic. It's unbelievable. It's like Lex Luthor levels of stupidity from the Superman Returns. Him making the whole world a kryptonite thing would basically destroy the world, and making him, basically kill him because he's a freaking human. He can't leave the world. So, yeah, his plan is stupid. Now, when I said it was convenient, yeah, everything is convenient. Everybody is somehow is just conveniently in New York for some, like it's established early on that the woman who's Cassandra Webb's mother is in Peru. She goes there because her infant, which is Cassie, has a disease, and she needs some sort of treatment, and they're not going to give her it, so she goes to Peru to get the treatment, which is why she's in Peru. She goes into labor. She dies because Ezekiel Sims betrays her, shoots her, and she dies, and Cassie's born in Peru. Now, we jump into the future, to 2003, which is funny and ironic that I talk about that this generation is The Room, when in reality, in fun fact, The Room came out in 2003. So she somehow ends up in New York. Now, if you think logically, how in the hell did she get into New York from Peru? But that's not really important, because I guess the writers didn't really give a damn to actually think, to explain how she ended up there. Or even, if you did a passing sentence, hey, I came at 18 or something, like something like that. But no, she suddenly ends up in New York. And also she somehow is given to foster people, because, she can't be raised by the Spider-Man people or whatever the heck actually helped her in the start. So, yeah, I don't understand. It's kind of boggling my brain, because she has no record whatsoever that she was born, but somehow she has all the credentials and stuff, because you see her license, because they draw up her license. They draw the lady who works for Ezekiel Sims pulls up her license. She has all the credentials. So somebody registered her somehow in Peru. So she's got birth certificate and stuff somehow. I don't know. It's convenient, whatever. So, so everything is just convenient, thinking about it, like the three women, they're conveniently all living there, and she finds them, and she has all these clairvoyancy visions, because he comes and he's trying to kill them, because, he's trying to prevent his own death, which I already described to you how stupid that is, because all he had to do is not be in the location of his death, which is in New York. So Cassie tells Ben Parker, who's Uncle Ben from the Spider-Man comics. She comes with a vehicle in one scene, and says, he needs to watch the women, because she has to go back to where she started from Peru, to get answers about whatever. So he just goes along with it, because that's what the script says, apparently. But, any normal person would be like, what the hell are you doing? You abducted these children. And he just, instead of doing the logical thing, which is, questioning stuff, he just goes along with it. I mean, really, this is hilarious about how everybody just goes along for the ride. The girls, they'll just wait around in the forest while she's going to do something. And they just go along with it, because, she proved that she was able to keep them safe from Ezekiel Sims and his bargain bin Spider-Man knockoff costume that's black. It's not actually a character, by the way. I actually looked it up on Wikipedia. Yeah, he doesn't really portray anything. It's just random generic Spider-Man costume to make you think, because I don't think they have the rights to actually have Spider-Man outside of him being born in the movie itself. But they don't reference him. But Peter Parker is actually born in here, so I think it connects to Tom Holland's Spider-Man. But yeah, it's just a mess of a movie. It's just convenient, contrived, it's stupid, really. She's clairvoyant, and she ends up blind because, I think the character Madam Web's actually blind. I didn't really know that. I know she had glasses on, but I didn't realize that the old woman that's actually, Madam Web is typically portrayed as an older woman. So it's kind of different seeing her as a younger person, but she's clairvoyant. And at the end of the movie, she's got it down to the T when stuff is going to happen. She tells everybody that to the letter when stuff is happening. So she falls into the water and gets hit in the head by I think a firework or something. And I'm thinking, how did she not know that this was going to happen? Somehow prevent that from happening. Or is she able? Did she want that to happen? Is my thinking, which makes no sense. Why would you want to be blind? But whatever. I guess the script says so. So yeah, we're gonna go along with it. Just like everything else, you just go along with it. Don't think about what's happening because it doesn't matter. If you think logically, you shouldn't be watching this movie anyway. So I don't recommend this movie because the dialogue sucks. The convenience of the whole thing is bogus. It's ridiculous. It's lazy. It's like a bad idea to have a character that's almost a D character, because Madam Web is not really that major of a character to really warrant a movie like this. But I understand that they have to actually continue to make these movies to retain the rights so they don't revert over to Marvel, at Disney. So they got to make these shitty movies, and they couldn't have picked the they couldn't have picked the worst thing to make, because nobody wants this. Because Hollywood, let me tell you, Hollywood, your target audience that goes to these comic movies are men. Men don't want to see girl boss movies like this. And the people, the girls you're trying to target don't want that either, because if you didn't pay any attention to when the Marvels was released, they went and saw Aquaman 2 instead. And I'm sorry, Aquaman 2 is not really that great of a movie to begin with, but I can tell you for a fact, the reason they go to see Aquaman 2 is because Jason Momoa is hot. I'm sorry. Jason Momoa is hot. And they're going to flock to him because he's a box office draw. I'm sorry. That's the truth. So, yeah, the dialogue sucks. Convenience factor sucks. The characters suck. If you don't like rewatching the scenes over and over again, because as she learns her powers, she rewatches the scenes over and over and over and over again in multiple moments in this movie. Yeah, I hated that, actually. And the very first moment where you see Ezekiel Sims being killed by those 3 Spider Women, yeah, I was like, who, what, and why? If you have to ask yourself that, scientific questions during a movie, yeah, it's probably not a good movie. The 3 women, girls actually, because they're teens in this movie, yeah, they suck too. I don't really have anything good to say other than Cassie goes and sees this the Spider-Man person who helped give birth, who helped her get, when her mother was pregnant. He helped her be born, kind of. Yeah, his Mr. Miyagi moment, that was like the best acting in the whole movie. It's kind of sad that you have to. That's basically the only compliment I got, is that. The suits. If you watch the preview and you think, well, this movie is going to be majority about the spider people, right? No. 3, and I'm being nice. 3 minutes is about the amount of time you get to see the people in suits, the superheroes, the Spider Women. And I'm being generous. I think it's less than 3 minutes, to be honest. And Madam Web, she gets a suit, but if you take a deep breath, that's about as long as you see Madam Web in full costume. It's a deep breath. So yeah, don't go see this movie. Don't waste your time. If you watch this whole review that I'm making, this long, extensive review of, that's basically 17 minutes long, and you have to go see this movie just to see how bad it is, go to a cheap theater like I did. Don't go to a expensive theater.